Hello everyone! Today we're going to be making a cut paper fish using some shapes, and we're inspired by the book Swimmy. We're going to start with an oval shape and then cut out some other shapes for parts of our fish. So I'm going to set those aside for right now and find my scissors. And the cool thing is you can use regular scissors, or if you have what I call silly scissors that have a fun design on them, you could use that. I'm going to use regular scissors though and do a really good job cutting. Practice those fine motor skills and cut your oval shape. This is going to be Swimmy the fish's body. Just about done. There we go. And you can set the scraps aside. Maybe you want to use those for something else. Okay, so there's my body for Swimmy, and I'm going to use these circles that I've traced to cut out the eye for Swimmy. You want the eye to be pretty good sized because fish typically have pretty big eyes. There we are. And again, you can set the scraps off to the side. There's my eye. I am going to glue that on. So I like to glue on the side that has the pencil lines. That way I can hide them. There we go. Put it up kind of high so you have room for a mouth. Okay, the next part. I have some red lips, and we are going to draw a heart shape on there for the lips. And I like to make one side a little bit bigger than the other. So there's my heart shape. And go ahead and cut that out. And then these are going to be Swimmy's lips. Careful cutting, awesome, fine motor skills. There we go. Swimmy's lips, scrap, and there. You can decide where you'd like them to go. I like them to kind of go down in this area. So again, glue. Make sure you get enough glue to cover it up. And Swimmy's lips, very nice. Now the white eye looks a little bit strange, so I am going to take a piece of my purple color and cut out a very small circle. And Swimmy is going to have a purple eye, which is totally fine. You can have whatever color eye you want. If you don't want to cut out a shape, you could draw one, and that would be okay too. So purple eye looks a little better. Rub it over the top of my glue and put it in place. Right like so. I'm going to add a couple of details at this point too. So I'm going to add a little eyelash detail to Swimmy. I'm going to add a little detail to the eye to make it a little more interesting. And I'm going to add a line to the lips to make it look like it's smiling. A smiling Swimmy. Okay, so I have these two purple shapes that I had earlier. These are going to be Swimmy's fins. I need a small fin for the side and a bigger fin for the back. And I already used a little chunk for Swimmy's eye, so I'm going to use this one for the fin in the middle of its body. And I'm going to give it a bit of a fold, like so, and cut this fin like that. Let's see what happens. How is it? Ooh, it is pretty big. So I'm going to make this a bit smaller. I'm going to cut a little off this way and a little off this way. Do I like that? Or maybe I want to do that and have a smaller fin. You decide. Do you like a bigger fin or a smaller fin? I kind of like the small fin. There we go. Now the next piece is big. rectangle as well. So this one is okay being bigger because it's going to be on the tail. So I'm going to make a deeper groove for my cut. When you're cutting, you want to make sure you have that folded part on this side, and then you're cutting the opposite part. When you open it, you should have a trapezoid shape. This I'm going to tuck underneath, and that's going to be Swimmy's tail. There we are. I'm not going to glue these down just yet. I do have a few more things to do. I have some stripes of paper, or strips, whichever way you prefer. These are going to be Swimmy's details on his back, like that. It's kind of boring like that though, so we want to do some cutting. They can stay striped or they can be curvy. You can do some dots. I'm going to use my silly scissor and curve it a little bit. See what happens. Silly scissors can be a little tricky to cut with. So your lines may not look as beautiful as you want, but that's okay. We're just all practicing. There's one half. I'm going to do the other side too. Let's see what I can do. It adds a bit of interest to Swimmy with these silly scissors. I'm not going to lie. There we are. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so I'm going to lay that there. I'm not going to do any gluing just yet. Now I'm going to use my black piece, and I'm going to just cut some shapes, some diagonal lines. You can cut as many as you want, and I'm going to use these for some detail on Swimmy. There we go. And then I'm going to cut another lavender piece, or lilac, whatever color you want to call it. This one I'm going to use a regular scissor for. I'm going to make a wavy line. Like that. I could keep it this way if I wanted to. That's kind of interesting, actually. Okay, now it's glue time. I'm going to move my fin aside, put a little bit of glue. I'm going to glue over here so you can see it. Run that glue stick right over the top, and you may want to get a piece of what I call messy paper or newspaper to put underneath your paper as you're gluing. There we go. One. Now I'm going to take those diagonal lines that I made, and I'm going to glue those and put them on. Kind of interesting. There's one. And another. And another. This is going to be one fancy fish. I think I can fit one more before I reach the bottom. Okay, there we are. Now I'm going to take that lavender strip, same thing, put some glue on it. I'll have to wash my table when I'm done. I'm getting kind of gluey. And there we are. And I'm overlapping a little bit on the edges, and that's okay. We're going to go back and do some cutting afterwards. I have one more black strip left. This one I'm going to cut a real skinny strip that is straight. Like that. And I'm going to put that on the back part. It's kind of hard to see that black. All right. There it is. That looks pretty good. And I still have this other strip. I'm going to use my other silly scissor and cut this one in half. This kind of looks like water. It's scalloped. There it is. See those fun scallops? I think I'll put that back here. And then we'll be ready for Swimmy's fins to get glued on. Okay, here we go. Like so. I'm gonna find that fin, here it is, and add some glue to Swimmy's fin. Decide where it should be placed, maybe up here. I'm gonna move it up a little farther, I think, like that. And then Swimmy's tail fin. I need just a little bit of glue where it's going to attach underneath the oval. So just a tiny bit, tuck it underneath. And so far so good. Now, I don't need my glue stick anymore. I'm gonna close that up. I'm going to use my Sharpie and make some lines that look like they could be lines on a fin there, and then on the back too. Lines for detail. There we are. Now, Swimmy looks pretty good, but it needs a little trim. So I'm going to get my scissors out and trim off really carefully all those pieces that are hanging off. There's the bottom, now the top. Looking better already. Okay, and there we have our finished Swimmy. I hope you had fun making it.